Yo, football fans, it's me, Football Fakier, and I'm back with another my series called Road to the World Cup. And in today's episode, we'll be doing a prediction of the World Cup. I'll be doing this blindly, so I'll say who will qualify out of the groups into the knockout stages, who will progress all the way until the final, and then who will be crowned World Cup champions of the year 2026. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the video. So before we continue and jump into the video, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and do share this out to all your friends and family. It really helps the channel grow. We do interact with all the people who comment. So thank you so much if you have liked, subscribe, and comment on the previous videos. If not, we do appreciate you for just watching. However, please don't be shy. It takes nothing to hit the subscribe or the like button. So let's look at Group A. You have Mexico, South Africa, Korea Republic, and Czech Republic. I personally feel Mexico tops this group, mainly because they're one of the host nations. When need be, the crowd will just get behind them and fire them up to push the team go forward and get the result they need. In second place, and I think one of the teams that will shock the rest of the is America. My team personally feel this will be the first time we qualify out of the group stages. And I do feel that we have a good squad who can carry the team over the line and can get the results we need. I personally feel in second and an opening group game against Mexico will be so important for us. It will set the tone for the rest of the World Cup for us. Get a good result there, and then I think that we just build momentum, and then we'll carry on. And I do, like I mentioned in my previous videos, I do predict that we will end in the last 16, and what happens from there will then just be it's all up to the players and to decide, do we push and go further than that, or do we then bow out in the last 16? In third, I do predict Korea Republic and Czech Republic in fourth, mainly because I think Korea Republic, the opening game when they do play Czech Republic, I think Korea Republic will get the win there, and it will then be difficult for Czech Republic to bounce back when they play Mexico and South Africa. So that's my top. That's how I predict Group A. Mexico first, South Africa second, Korea Republic third, and Czech Republic fourth. We go to Group B. We have Canada, another host nation, Bosnia, Qatar, and then Switzerland. I firmly believe Switzerland will top the group, mainly because of the players they have in their squad, the experience they have. And in recent international tournaments, Switzerland has been good. Second, Canada, another host nation. They have players like Jonathan David, Alphonso Davids, Buchanan, the midfielder. I just think they'll do enough. Qatar will end in third. Asia Cup champions, and in Bosnia, I don't think will be good enough to get any points from here. I think they might beat Qatar, but in my opinion, I do think Qatar will then edge them. And in third, we go to Group C. You have Brazil, Morocco, Haiti, and Scotland. Brazil, with the players they've mentioned in their squad, I just think Brazil will be too strong for this group. You have too much quality there. Morocco, always a good side. In recent years, um, in international tournaments as well. 2022 semi-finalists, AFCON, last AFCON. I don't know what we're gonna call them, but I'll just call them finalists because they were declared champions months later. But I do think again a quality side. Ashraf Hakimi, Brahim Diaz, just to name a few. This nation can do what they need to do, and I think they will end second. Scotland will end third, and then Haiti will end fourth. Scotland, they always disappoint you in terms of, they have the players there. Scott McTominay has been in the good form in recent years. They have Andy Robertson, they have Tierney at right back, John McGinn in midfield. It's just you don't see them scoring as much as they should as a nation. Um, Always relying on McTominay to get them the winner in recent matches, also in the last Euros. I just feel again the opening match is Haiti, which is good. I think they can get the big result there. Personally, 3 points can set you in with a good goal difference, can set you top of the table. But then it's just basically what you do against Brazil and Morocco. You can go with a draw against both, play for a draw, and you can see if you can end second or maybe even first if you get a good result against Morocco, maybe for Scotland. But I don't see them doing that because they have a tendency to not turn it up a notch against big international tournaments or against big nations. And then Haiti, I don't know much, but I don't think they'll do anything in this group. Another host nation in USA, Paraguay, Australia, and Turkey. Um, Turkey will top the group there, and second will be USA. I think before the groups were announced, I think many people doubted USA, but I think they're in a decent group with the home crowd. I think they can go far with Turkey to end first. Players like Arda Gula, Hakan Çalhanoğlu, they just match winners, man. That is players who you can depend on to do the job for you and to win your match. In third, I put Australia and fourth, Paraguay. Mainly, it's one of the two. Whoever wins the game between the two sides, I think will then in third. Go to Group E. You have Germany, 2014 champions, Curacao, first timers, Cote d'Ivoire, and Ecuador. Germany will top the group. I see them ending on 7 or 9 points, to be honest. Um, just too strong. The quality of players they have. And I mean, Germany might be a team that shocks everyone and could go all the way to a final, even to win it. Um, many people are speaking about Germany in this World Cup, but I do think they might, in my prediction, as we'll see as the my prediction goes on, I do see them going far in the tournament. In second place will be Ivory Coast, Diamonde, Amad Diallo. These are players who can win your match. Diamonde is probably one of the most talked about youngsters at the moment. With Amad Diallo can do, might be off form at the moment, but he can do the job for you. Ecuador in third, and then Curacao, again, newcomers, not a big nation. I hope they can cause an upset in this World Cup, but I don't think it will. But this is my prediction for Group E: Germany, Cote d'Ivoire, Ecuador, and then Curacao to make up the group. If you have Japan, Sweden, and Tunisia, I think Netherlands tops the group. Sweden in second, mainly because these two nations, I think with Netherlands, the players that they have at their disposal, can quality players all around. It's just for them to get that spirit, man, to that believe that they can go all the way. Netherlands always starts good and then they fade in the knockout stages. I feel this could be the one. They're not reliant on any individual players to win them the game. So it's just who puts up their hand in the match and then says, okay, by the scruff of the neck, and I'll win us the game. It could be from a Van Dijk header, it could be from a Frankie de Jong long range shot. That's how teams win World Cup. We know in 2006, the way Italy won the World Cup, it was just players scoring here and there. Fabio Grosso scoring, Materazzi scoring, Del Piero scoring. It was goals spread across the team. And that's why I hope Netherlands can have a 2010 spirit where they went all the way to the final and they can do it again this year. If then there's Sweden, you can look at them and you can say Gyökeres Isak up top. Probably one of the teams will play 4-4-2. I don't see them benching either player for the other one. I think both of them start and then one of them will just come off at 60 minutes or 65 minutes, depending how the results go. Yes, we know Isak has been injured for the season, so he's not match fit, not up to scratch. But I mean, with those two up front and you have Patrick Dogo on the left who can just find them with his crossing from the left hand side, I think that will be the game plan for Sweden. Victor Lindelof has found a new position in midfield for Aston Villa, so that's slot into there. Or does he just go back to centre back? I do think Sweden then in second in the group, and then Japan third, and Tunisia will in just make up the group and in fourth. Japan, their style of football is always hard running, run for 90 minutes, and passionate. But Tunisia, I just feel they won't be able to compete with the other nations and it will be difficult for them. And look at Group G: Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand. Um, it's a tough one who finishes top, Egypt or Belgium. I think Belgium will just have the experience to go through, in my opinion, and top the group. Same players that you normally see: Patrick Doku is there, Kevin De Bruyne, Lukaku. Defensively, I don't think they are the strongest, but I do see them topping the group. Egypt in second, Mohamed Salah, we know what he can do. He will want to prove a point after leaving Liverpool. And then it's going to be tough between Iran and New Zealand. I don't know. I'll go Iran ahead of New Zealand. I don't know much of either side, so I'm just gonna go with Iran and New Zealand ending in third. Um, and I won't even have one of these two teams qualifying for the knockout stages. In Group H, you have Spain, Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia, and Uruguay. Spain, hot favorites to win. I mean, players like Lamine Yamal, who's playing the best football. Probably many will say one of the, not one, but the best winger in the world at the moment. Um, but I do think Spain first, Uruguay in second. Again, with Uruguay, it's basically finding the right combination, finding the perfect start 11, and then just going out there and perform. In third, I think Saudi Arabia. Sorry, I think they will in third. They could even possibly in second. It all depends on how they approach games. The opening games is Uruguay. That is the important game. Get the 3 points there, and then you can cruise through the group. Not cruise, but then you can go on and win Cape Verde. And your last game, you will know what to do. Can you go with Can you lose the last game and qualify? So the opening game with Saudi Arabia will be all important. That's why I have them at third. And for Cape Verde, it will just be tough to compete with these nations. Like I mentioned, Spain favorites to win. Saudi Arabia with the investment that the clubs have done to bring players into the league has it has lifted the standard of football in Saudi Arabia. Let's be honest. And then Uruguay, we know they are always there competing quarterfinals, semifinals. They've been there before. Um, but it's just can this group of players of Uruguay now go on and emulate what the players before them did. They had Golden Forlan, Suarez, Cavani, and those players, and now you have lots of newer faces coming into the team. So I do think that's why that opening game. I even think Saudi Arabia will win Uruguay and in second, but I'll go with Spain, Uruguay, the top two, and then Saudi Arabia third, and Cape Verde. Let's look at Group I. You have France, Senegal, Iraq, and Norway. I obviously favorites to top the group is France. I just think they're too strong. Mbappe, Dembele, Michael Olise, Desiree Doué, Ryan Church. That is just your attackers that you've named. They've all been selected. At the back, you have Upamecano, Konate, Saliba, Jules Koundé, the Hernandez brothers. And then you go into midfield, you have Kante, who's been selected, Chouameni. Um, it's just going to be spoiled for choice as the France manager, Didier Deschamps. They are one of the favorites to win it with Spain. So obviously France tops the group. Senegal versus Norway. That is for second. I think Senegal will edge it in second, but mainly because of an F1 run they had. Sadio Mane, he's been enjoying his football, and we saw it in the F1. We see it when he plays for his club in the Saudi league. He enjoys his football. Konate at the back, he's showing why he was once hot property. Ismail Issa on the right hand side, again another player who plays in the Premier League week in week out, gives good performance for Crystal Palace. And then Norway in third. We all know Erling Haaland will be there with Odegaard behind him. I think that's how me Senegal and Norway. That will be a tough one to predict. Because I think Norway, that opening game, Norway plays Iraq, and that's where they get their 3 points, and then they set the tone for the rest of the group. So it's going to be a tough one in this group. That's why I said group of death. So we look at Group J. You have Argentina, Austria, Algeria, and Jordan. Argentina will top the group, in my opinion. The defending champions, I think they just won't have the start that they had to the last World Cup. I think they will hit the ground running. They play Algeria in the opening group match, so I think Argentina will top the group. Second, I'm putting Algeria as a dark horse team to upset. We know in international tournaments in previous World Cups, Algeria can come up and show up. So I think Algeria in second as a surprise team, Austria third, and then Jordan will make up the group. As Algeria and Austria, either one can go there, but I have a strong feeling Algeria opening match against Argentina, get the draw there, and then they'll be fired up for Austria and Jordan, and then take it from there to qualify for the knockout stages. So we look at you have Portugal, Congo, Uzbekistan, and Colombia. Portugal will top the group. I think at midfield for João Neves, Vatinia, Bruno Fernandes. You can put in Bernardo Silva there. You can put in Ruben Neves there. That is just again, it's all how the coach selects the team and we puts on the starting 11 and we brings on from the bench. Obviously, from the left, many people are saying Leao should start from the left, and Pedro Neto from the right, and many are still backing Ronaldo to go up front, but it's difficult. Um, Leao isn't in form. Ronaldo can he get that last edge and provide something for the team. When he has said like he's reaching the end, the tail end of his career, and everyone wants that fairy tale ending of Portugal winning the World Cup. But does Cristiano Ronaldo play a crucial part in this World Cup for Portugal? We have to wait and see. In second, I think Colombia will finish second. I think they are the players to do. It be tricky against a team like Congo, who has brought in players like Wan Bissaka. Um, Visa will be is a striker. Tuan Zebe at centre back. Players with experience playing at the highest level in the Premier League. But I just feel Colombia will have the edge to beat Congo. Congo in third. Then Uzbekistan will make up the group. Will end in fourth. Again, I do not know much of Uzbekistan. And then another tough group. You have England, Croatia, Ghana, and Panama. Um, I think, to be honest, I want to say Croatia tops the group, but I do think England again is just the one for England. The opening game is England Croatia for this group, and I think whoever wins they will top the group. A draw will then just obviously be a goal difference, and with England having a player like Harry Kane, I then see them going on and top the group with him scoring the goals. Croatia will be in second. Luka Modric's final World Cup. He will want to um, go one better than 2018 when they lost in the final to France. I think with Croatia now he wants to go on and maybe win it. Ghana in third. Then you have players like um, Inaki Williams. You have Tyreek Lamptey in the squad. Players who play at the highest level of European football week in, week out against the best in the world. I just think Ghana goes in third and then Panama. So now I have to select 8 teams who I think will qualify with the best third place points. So I do think Korea Republic will get enough points to qualify. Um, I do see them there. I think Scotland will get enough points to qualify as well. I'll say Norway will get enough points to qualify. Austria will get enough points to qualify. Ecuador, Japan as well. I might put Congo in here. Eh? I'll go Congo. Ah, I'll go Congo. If you look at the groups that they are in, um, I will say Congo because I think against Uzbekistan, um, that's where Congo can get a good win there. And then the last group, Qatar, Saudi, or Ghana. Honestly, it will be could be Saudi Arabia in my opinion. I think Saudi Arabia will do enough to get enough points to qualify. Okay, so now we are into the round of 32. Um, as this is the teams who have qualified now for the knockouts. Opening match, as predicted, will then be Germany versus Scotland. I think Germany again will be too strong for Scotland. Scotland will then qualify as a third place team. So I do then say Germany for that one. The next one will be France and Japan. And yeah, I say France beating Japan and will set you up for a nice juicy last 16. I said this in the first video of the series that the tournament will get exciting in the knockout stages. The group stages will be there to warm it up. You'll see the surprises here and there. But in the knockout stages where the tournament will heat up, and imagine you get a last 16 game of Germany versus France, but we'll get there as we go along. South Africa and Canada. Remember what I said? South Africa will reach the last 16. Bam. Against Canada, anything can happen. South Africa last 16. And then we have Netherlands versus Morocco. We see an upset, and I see Morocco beating the Netherlands. Colombia versus Croatia. Like I mentioned, Luka Modric, you will want to help his side and achieve what they emulate what they did in 2018, and they'll beat Colombia. Spain versus Algeria. I think Spain is just in the favorites there. Turkey versus Ecuador. I think Turkey will edge it again. I'll mention they have match winners in Akan and Arda Güler and those players that they are match winners. Belgium versus Korea. I think Belgium will edge. Brazil versus Sweden will be an interesting matchup. But again, I'll say Brazil will knock out Sweden. We'll see an um, African derby there. Cote d'Ivoire versus Senegal. I'll back Senegal to win just what they did in the AFCON. Mexico versus Saudi Arabia. Mexico nations will then move on to the next round, and then England will beat Congo. Argentina versus Uruguay, a South American derby. Um, Argentina to be victors there. USA versus Egypt. I think Mo Salah will carry his team to edge it over USA. Switzerland versus Austria. Always an interesting game, but I think Switzerland will get the job done. And then Portugal versus Norway. Ronaldo versus Haaland. Ronaldo will take it. We then move on to the last 16. We will have interesting fixtures there. Germany versus France, which could see whoever wins here win the World Cup. I'll back France in this one, mainly because the team is stacked. Um, it'll be a good fixture if it does happen, but I'll back France mainly because Kylian Mbappe in international tournaments is a different beast. But you know what Germany can do um, as well. Then South Africa versus Morocco. Morocco knows who's their boss. It is South Africa. Tibo Mokoena will probably score another free kick. South Africa will qualify to the quarterfinals. Croatia versus Spain. I just think this will be the ending for Luka Modric, and Lamine Yamal will be victorious, carrying his team to the next round of the World Cup. Turkey versus Belgium. This could go either way. It might go to penalties, and then you'll see heroics and do it for Belgium. Brazil versus Senegal. I just don't then see Senegal beating this good Brazilian side. That midfield that they have, Casemiro this season has been phenomenal. Put him with Joe Linton and Bruno Guimaraes, and you'll see that will be a that midfield is just engine, control, aggression. Will be nice to watch. Mexico versus England. I think England will knock out Mexico as one of those nations and move on to the next round. Argentina versus Egypt. Messi versus Salah. I think Argentina will be victorious. And then Portugal versus Switzerland. Portugal, Egypt. We go on to the quarterfinals. France versus South Africa. I think this is where South Africa's run will come to an end. In 2010, South Africa did beat France, but I just think this time around, France could end the hopes and dreams of South Africa. So France will go through there and into the semis. They'll go. Spain versus Belgium. I think Spain again too strong. I think Belgium, the squad that they have, I just don't think they'll be recovered. They have an aging squad, and recovery will be important. And I just don't think they have the legs to carry on to go all the way to the final. Brazil versus England, interesting one. But yeah, I do. Before the squads were announced, I would have maybe backed England. But I think Brazil is one of the sides to go all the way this year. Uh, and then the last one will be Argentina versus Portugal, Messi versus Ronaldo. Bruno Fernandes will knock out Argentina and advance to the semi-final. Then we have France versus Spain. Many predict 1 and 2 to win the World Cup, and many will say whoever wins this game will win the World Cup. I think France will get it over Spain. Olise will show that he's better than Lamine Yamal, and this will cause a debate. But this season, I think, just to put this out there, Olise showed his quality. But I do think France will edge it over Spain, mainly because you'll know now who is your starting lineup, who will be able to carry the team through, and then that will determine France's team in the knockout stages. The front three will be sorted, the midfield will be sorted, the defense will be sorted. With Spain, also quality players, but again, there's lots of inexperienced. Yes, they won the Euros, but can these players do it again at the World Cup? Um, like there's moments where Lamine Yamal doesn't carry Barcelona. We can't do anything. So has his game been figured out? Nico Williams has been quiet lately. So I just think France beats Spain, and then Portugal versus Brazil. I think Portugal goes on to the final. Um, will just be the dream that everyone wants. And then you get yourself in the Portugal France final, and Cristiano Ronaldo wins the World Cup. So that's the end of the video. I predicted it blindly and my thoughts, and I do see that Portugal will end up winning the World Cup. This is maybe just destined, and it will determine what everyone has been arguing about. Um, at his age, Cristiano winning a World Cup will be a dream for many, and many fans want. But just this is just a prediction. It can change as the World Cup goes on. But yeah, that's me, Football Fakir. This is the end of the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, what do I know about football?